So I have passive income coming from three different things that I want to share with you today. And this is not life-changing money. This isn't going to allow you to quit your job, but it does build up over time in small amounts. And you can have a small cash pile to use for an expense of some kind in the future. And so I want to go through each one of those and show you what my family has done with that money over time and how it's changed. The first thing is credit card rewards. Now, this isn't for everybody. Some people can really misuse credit cards and it can really devastate your financial situation. So this works for my family because we don't spend any extra stuff. We're not blowing money on our credit card. The way that we use our credit card is we funnel all of our expenses that can be used as a credit card expense. We funnel that through our credit cards, and that gives us rewards every month. Now, my family gets around like $60 a month or so from our credit card purchases. So we have, I've got my credit card that I use that brings 2% on all transactions, no matter what it is. It's going to give me 2%. And then my wife has a card that gives 5% on Amazon purchases and, a certain amount on other purchases, but we try to just use that for Amazon. And so over time that adds up and it allows us to make a purchase on something. The second thing is we use Walmart Plus. And so that generates, as we buy groceries, in very small amounts, we get something called Walmart Cash. And that's something that you can directly turn into cash if you want. And so that's a very slow process, especially because now we're not buying only from Walmart. We're actually buying our groceries at Aldi and Walmart. So that doesn't apply too much. But like even right now, I think at the beginning of the year, we cashed it in and we're at $24. And so that's been, a small amount, but like I said, if you leave it alone and you just let it run, it can turn into $200. And that's what happened for us. And I'll tell you, why, or what we ended up cashing that money in for here in a minute. But Walmart Plus has been helpful, even if we're not buying all of our groceries from Walmart. That's still a small amount of money that builds up over time. The third one that we use, and this is probably not for everybody, but this is something that's very beneficial that I found and something new that this company has been doing. And it's part of my side hustle, and it's the Lyft app. So I'm taking trips on Lyft. I get certain points for having good score from the riders and different things like that, my driving. I get a certain number of points, and those are redeemable for cash as well. And sometimes, depending on how much I drive, it can be as much as $100 a month. And so it just depends on, like I said, how much I drive. Right now, I'm probably getting around $25 a month. But it's just something that you don't even think about. You just let it run, and you can get a pretty sizable amount from that. If you just let the time go by and you just continue to do that side hustle. So that doesn't apply to everybody just because not everybody drives for Lyft, but that is something that my family does get as a residual passive income. It's just extra money on the side. So how do you handle this? You might have different ways of being able to get this cash. It might not be the ways that I, and my family collects the cash, but you may have other apps that you use that give you this kind of benefit. One thing that I'm thinking of is like Pampers, for example. And I'm really kind of disappointed in Pampers because they changed the app and how you can cash your bonuses in. They used to have a sticker, and they may still have it, but you have a sticker on every set of diapers. And you can scan that on their app and you would get some kind of points for it. And you can get discounts and on diapers, or I think you could even cash it in as well. But they did something with their app, and I don't even know if they do that anymore. But I had like $25 sitting in there and it's gone. Like they did something with their app, and I probably should have called them and complained or something. But that was another thing that I used to do when we bought diapers all the time. We would capture that and get free diapers, or I was able to cash that in or whatever. But we no longer do that. But there's just the point is that there's just all kinds of different ways that you can get little bits of money. I guess it's kind of like the modern day couponing even. But there's many different ways that you can collect residual money over time, and it does add up. And so what do we spend our money on for this kind of passive income that comes in? We used to, before we had all our kids, when we had just maybe one as a baby, I would save up the cash on, from the credit cards and things like that. And my wife and we would just have a staycation for the week. And so we'd have like $500 saved up, and every day that week, my wife wouldn't have to cook. We wouldn't go anywhere. We would just order food. I'd go pick up food or breakfast or dinner, and we would just have a staycation. We didn't have to cook anything. We didn't have to work on anything. We just chilled out, had a real staycation once a year. And so that was always a great time, not having to do anything. And then we get to eat out every day that week. So that, to me, that's, my wife and I, we're homebodies. We don't like to have to travel. It's a whole inconvenience. It's not, it's a whole stressor as it is. Why not just enjoy your home where you're at and, act like you're on vacation? What's better than that? Getting the free food. It's basically free because it's money you didn't earn. It's just there, So it's, we just eat out every day, and it was so nice. We don't do that too much anymore. But that's because the food prices are so expensive. Going out to eat is ridiculous now. And so, but now that we've got kids and they want to go places, that kind of dynamic has changed a lot. But really what we're doing now with that residual money is we're using it for our cell phones. So cell phones are really expensive. It can be upwards of $1,000 a phone. And so what we've decided to do with this extra money that's coming in is just let it build up. And whenever it comes time to get a phone, a new phone of some kind, then we'll use that money to buy phones. And so we don't have to get a phone plan. We don't have any insurance on phones, any extra expenses like that, we don't even have to worry about. And so how our phone plans kind of worked out was, we were on our parents' phone plan for a long time, actually probably longer than it should have been. We were married and we were on our parents' phone plan. We decided to go ahead and get our own phone plan, and that was the prepaid Verizon phone plan. It was like 5 gigabytes. It was super low, super cheap, and we got cheap phones, like $200 a piece. And the phone, the cameras were bad, the screens weren't that great quality, but it got us on our own plan, and we started to use that sum of money from the credit cards, and just different things that are adding up over time, Walmart cash, all that. We were able to actually upgrade to an S21 Ultra, and this was back in like 2022 or 2023. We were able to buy an older version, and that's what we do with cell phones in general. Is we don't buy the newest phone that comes out. We're buying an older version of the good phone. So our first upgraded phone from our crappy ones was the S21 Ultra, and that was when the S22 Ultra was just new coming out. We got a good price on the S21 Ultra. We went through Amazon Renewed, and we liked that it had, you could return it if it wasn't what you wanted. It was practically a new phone. Okay, the S21 Ultra on Renewed at that time, it was basically a new phone. Yeah, I don't even think it was used. I think it might have been something that was inventoried, and they're just trying to get rid of them at that point. But we got a good price. I can't remember what we paid. I don't know if it was like $500 a piece or something like that. It might have been like $450 a piece. And then so after we did that, we just continued to let our credit cards and things like that build up the rewards. And my wife cracked her screen. And the first time with the S21 Ultra, our upgrade there was because I cracked my screen. And I was doing a side hustle and totally obliterated my crappy phone. And then so we went to the S21 Ultra, upgraded that, and then went to recently, I think it was just last year, we both upgraded our phones. My wife cracked her screen, and we got the S25 Ultra. And so now the S26 Ultra is out. Again, we're not going for the newest thing, but we have gradually been able to upgrade to close to the newest thing. And when we weren't out of pocket for that. And so, like I said, no insurance, anything like that. And my backup, my insurance actually is my old S21 Ultra. That screen was not cracked. So that's just our backup phone. if somebody, if we crack our screen and we can't repair it or whatever, repairing is expensive as it is. We're just going to have that S21 Ultra, my old one. Whoever cracks their screen is going to have that S21 Ultra until we have enough money from the rewards to be able to buy a new phone at that point. And so that's our insurance plan. So we're not paying any money for a phone. We're not on any kind of payment plan, and we're not paying for insurance. We don't have to. And that's just gradually over time, paying it with cash. And it's cash that we didn't earn really, paying with cash. And that's where we are today. We have our S25 Ultras, and that's how we've been able to upgrade and not be on a phone plan or anything like that. And that's what we do with our residual income now. And my thought is really with this extra income that's coming in, we may end up having enough for new phones and then anything extra on top of that. And I'm thinking, it might be irresponsible, but we might just use it to go out to eat, until somebody has a phone that breaks. If we have enough to pay for a new phone or new phones, then at that point we would just probably use it to go out to eat or something like that to just enjoy ourselves like we did before. So that's what I'm hoping we get to. We can keep our old, keep these S25 Ultra phones, and then we can use it to kind of splurge, and like we used to. And so those are my 3 residual income producing things that just generates a little bit of money over time, but it can add up over time and you can make some purchases. And that's what we do with ours. And again, it's not for everybody, especially with the credit cards, because I know that credit cards can tend to make people spend more than they should. And that just doesn't apply to us. So we're able to take advantage of that. Credit cards probably hate us because we're actually taking money from them through the rewards. And not spending more. And so we're very controlled in our spending through that. So put down in the comments, what you do with your incremental income. I'm sure you have something, there's an app of some kind that you use that builds up money over time, and you do something with it. Do you have any good ideas? Let me know in the comments down below. If this video was a help to you, hit the like button. And of course, if you want to follow me and my One Income family, hit that subscribe button for updates on videos. We'll see you in the next one.